All right, so we're going to be replacing the camera sensors and the speaker in here on this iPhone 8 Plus. All right, so we're going to do basically like a screen replacement, except we're not going to replace the entire screen. We're going to first use a pentalobe 1 or 0.8 or a P2 screwdriver, and we're going to remove the 2 screws from the bottom. All right, so let's go ahead and remove those 2. You want to keep the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. All right. So just put them on your desk in the pattern that you remove them. So you got these 2 here, you're just going to put those next to each other. All right, grab these 2 screws out. Go. Okay, now we're going to get the screen out. I use a thin pry tool to do this. So what I do is I just get between the metal frame and the plastic here. All right, just like this. Get underneath and then go around. You don't want to get the tool too far into the bottom. We're going to go to the side. The side kind of has the frame here that prevents you from putting the tool too far. So you should be okay just running the tool along the side here. You don't want to pop the screen out too far because the cables are in there. All right, so we're just going to pop it slightly. All right, and then we're going to go around the other side here. Same thing, just slide the tool up. You might have to kind of like twist the tool a little bit to get it to pop up. There usually is an adhesive under here, but the screen was opened before, so the adhesive isn't holding. So normally you would also run the tool along the top. Then what you do is you slide the screen slightly down here, so it's up like that, and then you can open this like a book. Oh, why is this rolling around in there? All right, actually one thing, did I turn this off? I believe I did, yeah. Okay, make sure, of course, also that your phone is completely off. All right, so now we're going to disconnect the battery here. So we're gonna remove these screws. We're gonna have to switch over to a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead and remove the screws here. All right, so 4 screws. Again, keep these screws in order. Each one is different size, shape, and length. If you mix them up, you can damage your phone, all right? So be very careful with that. It's very important that you keep track of these screws. All right, just put them in the pattern you're removing them. All right, so you have this diagonal shape there. Just put them in that diagonal pattern on your desk. And then you got this other one that goes straight down. Okay. All right, once you got all the screws out, you can also take the metal plate off. All right, so just like this. And the camera sensor actually was removed from here because it was damaged. So then we don't have to remove this. I'll show you that later, but this usually has like a springy cable, like it's kind of curved. So you'll see when we get to that point when we put the replacement. All right, so now we're going to disconnect the battery connector. It's this one in the center somewhat. So we're going to pop that up. I just use my fingernail. You can use plastic pry tools, but I just use my fingernail. So there we go. After you do that, press and hold the power button about 15 seconds. This will drain the power from the motherboard and make it a lot less likely that you'll damage anything when working on it. All right, so we'll give it another 5 seconds or so. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and open this back up. So I'm gonna pop these 2 out. Okay, so we'll pop these connectors out as well. So get underneath and pop this up just like this. All right, so these are the screen connectors. Just like this, and the other one as well. Okay, however you can get underneath it, just go ahead and get underneath and pop those connectors up. It can be a little bit tricky. You want to be careful not to damage these things underneath, but there we go. All right, and then normally you also have this connector here. If you want to remove that, or if you have to remove that, you have to use a Y000 screwdriver, all right, or a Y0.6. And let's go ahead, or I guess you would call it a tri-wing. And we'll remove the 2 screws here that are side by side. Again, normally there would be a wire here, okay? And that's what we're actually replacing on this phone. Okay, so we'll get this one out as well. All right, and then we're gonna take this metal plate off and set that aside. All right, normally you wouldn't have this tape over here. I put that there just to prevent it from getting damaged because the customer wanted to use their phone right away. So we're gonna peel this up. Okay. All right, now we have the screen separate from the phone. Let me go get the metal plate from the old screen and I'll be back. All right, see you guys in a bit. All right, I'm back. So here's the broken screen. When I took this one out, I don't know, maybe someone already replaced the screen, so this isn't the original screen as well. So when I took this out, the cable, it just, even when I just turn it like this, I noticed the cable, the other end was just laying flat here. Okay, so this cable here, it was just up like this when I took this out, and I was like, that's weird, like plugged in there. So yeah, I think the previous person probably tore it a little bit and then it just ripped out really easily. So anyways, let's go ahead and remove this metal bracket. We don't really need the other stuff. Well, we do need the speaker, but we don't need the other pieces. So let's go ahead and switch over to a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver, and we'll remove all these screws. Okay, again, keep all the screws in order. All right, that screw's staying in, so we'll go to the next one. Okay, so there's 5 screws here. Make sure you remove all of them. At the bottom right corner, there's actually 2 side by side, really close together. Again, all these screws are different size, shape, and lengths. You don't want to mix them up. Okay, we'll take this metal plate off, and then we'll also take this, or lift the sensor up here, and then we'll take the speaker out. Okay, so yeah. Normally, if you're going to remove this, you'll want to watch my screen replacement videos, because I show how to take this sensor out and put a new one in. But you basically have to heat this up and then you can pull these sensors out. But since, again, this is broken because this cable, we're going to just set this aside and we'll use the replacement ones now. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Let's go ahead and put the replacement speaker, sensors, and everything in place. So this one, they put a little protective sticker on top of the camera, so if yours has that, make sure to peel that off. Otherwise, your camera is going to be very blurry. Alright, so we're going to take that out and throw that away. Alright, so the camera stuff, it's a little bit tricky. So, oops, this thing is stuck to my finger. Get off me. Okay. So the way this goes, you see these, this sticks to the back here. Okay, you're going to want to actually look at the old setup so you can kind of get it matched. So here you can see normally the connectors go that way, and then this gets folded up here, okay? And then this one gets folded down. So I guess I'll use that for reference. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is stick these sensors all on here, okay? So... where are these all folded? They made this so complicated because the one that comes here, okay, let me pop this out just to show you. So I'm going to use a needle to do this. All right, I'm going to lift these sensors out of here. Okay, they are stuck in pretty strong. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, you have these sensors, and then both of them, they fold the cables over to get them in properly. So it's really weird that they do it that way. And then also this is normally this way, so they fold everything. That's so weird. Okay, so let's see here. This is going to be confusing. So we get this one here. So first we're going to line up the gold contacts, which is for the speakers. Okay, line it up with the little dimples that are there. Okay, there we go, just like that. Then you'll see here, now this folds over this way, okay? So this cable here folds over to the left. It looks like the sensors already are folded. You want to be careful not to touch the sensors. You don't want to get them dirty. All right, so fold that over this way, and then we can get everything lined up here. Be careful with the camera, okay? Get it all lined up and push that all into place. It's a little bit tricky getting these all lined up completely, so just be patient, try and get them in. All right, they won't just fall in on their own. Usually you kind of have to maneuver them until they rest completely flat, like as you can see here. They'll go completely flat like that. Okay, then this one, it looks like they folded this up that way, right? Yep, so this cable they have folded up this way. Okay, so we're going to fold up everything. So this cable gets folded up this way. It's really weird. All right, I'm gonna put the camera sensor into there. So the cable will get folded this way. These sensors are coming back out. You wanna make sure to hold them into place. Okay, this is very tricky. So hold these sensors into place. Let's go ahead and put the speaker on top first, okay? So speaker on top, get it lined up. Okay. Get that all lined up. Make sure it's in the groove and that the screw holes match up and everything, okay? You'll know it's lined up because if you try and move it around, it stays in place. All right, now we're gonna fold this back over on top and then put the camera into place. So let's put this down here and then we'll get the camera down into place here. And then we're gonna have to run this cable over and have this go down, all right? Again, it's very weird that they did it this way. All right, so let's go ahead and get this back on top. Okay, make sure everything is lined up. Sorry, I'm not like zooming out or zooming in properly because it's tough to do this with and focusing on what I'm doing. All right, so make sure everything is lined up right. Hold that into place. All right, and then we're gonna get the screws and put them back in. So try and get this. It might help to have someone help you with this, but I use the magnetic tips like this and get that screw in. Right, once you get it loosely fitted, we're gonna get the next one. You don't wanna tighten it all the way down yet because you wanna make sure everything is lined up properly. Okay, second one. All right, next one. It's a little bit tricky. There we go. Okay, now that we got most of them in, we can let go. Hold this down, get that screw in. Last screw. All right, so now let's go ahead and tighten up all these screws. Go, just like this. There we go. Now that we got all of that in, we're gonna fold this one over. So this one just gets folded over like this so that this is parallel with the screen, okay? And then you can go ahead and press this down. There we go. So now we got the screen cables all like this. All right. Now we'll go ahead and take this piece. Okay, so first thing now, we're gonna reattach this. Let me try and zoom in and see if it'll help, but usually what I do when I put this, I have to kind of put the screen at a slight angle here. I don't think, yeah, that won't help. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and then we're gonna try and hold this cable down and push that into place. Again, this is pretty tricky to get back in. So let's go ahead and try this. All right. I always have a little trouble with this cable, but take your time, go slow. Okay. Get this lined up. There we go. Once you get everything lined up, you'll know because the cable, when you slide it over, doesn't move around, and then you can go ahead and push that into place. All right, I didn't feel it click, so I might have to take it back out. Normally, you should feel the connector click when you put this back in. Okay, I didn't feel it click, so I'm gonna pop it back up. It seems like it's connected properly, but for some reason, well, it doesn't want to come back out. Okay, I think it's connected right, so we're just gonna leave it in there. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and reattach the screen connectors now. Get that all lined up. And these, sometimes it helps to look from the side to make sure that the cable is lined up, but the connectors are super short, so it's a little bit difficult to see. There we go. All right. There's a little dust in here. Let me clean that out. Okay. All lined up. Here we go. Push that into place. Make sure everything is clicked in before putting the battery. If you plug in the battery and you have something loose, you can actually damage the connectors to the board and damage the components. So be very careful with that. All right. Let's go ahead now and push the battery connector back in. And then we can go ahead and power it back up and make sure everything is working okay. All right. We should see the Apple logo come on. There we go. All right, so now what we're going to do, let's go ahead and put back these little pieces here. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to the Y000 so that we can put this metal bracket back in. I'm going to drop that into place. Get the first screw, line it up, get that screw in. Oh, that didn't work right. Okay. Okay, we're just loosely fitting that first because we're going to have to adjust that. Once we get both screws in, we can go ahead and tighten it down completely. Okay, get the second screw in. Oops, sorry. Hopefully you guys were able to see what I was doing. There we go, tighten that down, tighten that down. All right, so now what I want to do, let's see if I can test the speaker at the minimum. Okay, cancel, how can I do this? Emergency. I wish I could hear it, but I can't. Can I dial 411 or 611? Nope. Okay, I'll have to ask the customer to, oh wait, silent mode off. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can hear it. Oh, the sound is coming from the bottom here though. So I wouldn't know until I actually make a real phone call. I don't know if I can answer the call without unlocking the phone. I'll call myself later, but my phone is doing the recording right now. So for now, we're just gonna reassemble the phone. All right. Let's go ahead and get the other part back here. All right, I'm going to switch back to the PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. And let's go ahead and put back all these screws. All right. Make sure this is lined up. Oops. Stay on. Okay. Last two screws. Okay, let's go ahead and tighten these down since everything else is lined up. It should be good. Last screw. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and put the screen back in. So you want to slide the top back in. You have to lift the, oops, what just happened? Turn that back around. Sorry about that. All right, so you're gonna lift this up slightly and then you're gonna slide this top piece back into place. Once you get that, while holding up the sides, push the bottom in, okay? You're gonna make sure to push the bottom in first, then you can work your way down the sides like that. All right, there we go. Let's put back the last two screws. These are the pentalobe 0.8 or P2 screws, all right? And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and get these last 2 screws in. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, again, please like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can also learn how to work on their devices. All right. This video is kind of more of a weird special case because most people won't have to replace their top sensors like that. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.